I grew up with the starving artist myth, right? The myth being that artists are starving, that it's a great way to be poor. If you want to be poor, then pursue art. The Creative Spotlight with Emily Ulabati, Episode 9. The Starving Artist Myth That Kills Creatives. Scene 1, Take 1, Action. Hey there, creative souls. Welcome back to the Creative Spotlight. Today, I want to give you an important piece of advice. Don't ever call yourself a starving artist unless you want to be one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's the whole video. I'm kidding. Of course, there's a lot more to be said about this. I have been a creative and artist of types for my entire life. Since I was a little girl, I was drawing, and then I was making books and writing them, and then I was doing choreography in the backyard. I was a Little Mermaid. I starred in The Little Mermaid. Did you know that? It was my first big role. Anyways, I grew up with the starving artist myth, right? The myth being that artists are starving, that it's a great way to be poor. If you want to be poor, then pursue art, right? And I think it's really culturally baked in. Of course, I'm speaking as an American, so if you're watching from somewhere else in the world, do share. I'm curious. Does this myth exist across other cultures, or do you find something else to be the norm in your culture? Because I think here in America, the starving artist idea is still going really, really strong. And you can see it all over the place. One of the most common places, at least, for a lot of us growing up, it's like, yeah, I know you're an excellent artist, sweetie, but maybe you should have a backup plan. Or maybe you should just treat art as your hobby and pursue a real career. It's hard to make it in the arts world. We see it in a more natural public space, like a lot of arts classes are free or expected to be free. Most music online is now free, and those musicians have to hustle in a whole bunch of other ways to get paid. We see a beautiful public sculpture, and it's free to gaze upon. Not saying that's a bad thing. There's a lot of ways in which it's free. The art museum is often free. And so we see culture telling us it should be free. The library, all those books, they're free. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that art shouldn't be free. We're going to get into that. And I think maybe the reason that art sometimes is free is because it is culturally so important. It's such a part of who we are and how we express. And I think there's this inherent understanding that art improves our lives, like from inside, from a soul perspective, from outside, gazing upon a beautiful world that is full of art. It enriches us. And I think it's deeply, deeply important. Of course, I'm biased, but I also think I'm just human, and art should be appreciated, and it should be all around us. And so I'm not saying that art should never be free, but definitely this idea of art being free does not support the artists. I mean, even look, a lot of times artists don't end up getting paid until they're dead. That happens for painters, that happens for musicians, that happens for authors countlessly time and time again. And how fair is that to us who are working our tails off right now to create art and put it out into the world and have our own contribution, but then don't get paid for it till we're dead? Like, that doesn't really work. And so what do we do with the starving artist mentality? First is don't embody it, don't own it, don't claim it. I had to push a lot of that aside when I decided, you know what? I'm not going to go the traditional route and go do this big fancy degree and then go try to get a job doing a bunch of stuff I don't want to do. I'm going to take the leap and pursue a creative career, despite the world telling me that it's hard to make money doing it, that you'll probably end up a starving artist. Maybe, maybe not. But I know that art fulfills me. My creative process fills me up so much that I was willing to take that risk. Now that I am an artist and I took that risk, I'm way beyond making a different decision. It's like, what do we do with this starving artist mentality, and how do we push it aside and not embody it to begin with anyhow? So we've looked at the idea that our culture kind of shapes art as this thing that should be free. And here's one of the way I've experienced it, even as a professional. Like, I have a business, I have a theater, I have a venue, I have things for sale. And yet I'm still asked, like, a lot, to give things away for free. And I'm not saying that I don't do that, but I think there's also an idea that, oh, you love your work, You should be happy to do it for free. Oh, you dance, you love dancing. Oh, you perform, you love performing. Would you come do a performance for us for free? Oh, you teach, that's so important and so inspiring to people. Would you do it for free? And I mean, if I did all of that for free every time I was asked, I mean, I legitimately, truly, truly, truly would be a starving artist because I wouldn't have any time left in a day to do work that's actually being paid for. And I know I'm not an island here. I know that a lot of people experience this. Shout out to my awesome brother-in-law. Him and I have commiserated about this a little bit. His name is Matthew Ray Reeves of the Reeves Brothers. He's a wonderful musician, but he's talked about it too. So it's not just like in my dance theater world. As a musician, he's asked all the time, would you come play the thing for free? And on one hand, it's a compliment. Thank you. That means you admire and appreciate my work, but you don't appreciate it with your dollar bills, y'all. Like, we need some of those too, artists. We have mouths to feed also. And so I know that's happening a lot for a lot of us. I do think that some art should be free. And I do think there is a time or place to give it away. One of the other things that'll happen too is, would you do it for free? Not only do you love it, but it's a great marketing opportunity. And sometimes that's true. But it still kind of tugs at something in me. I'm like, well, does anyone ask their accountant to do their taxes for free? What if my accountant loves doing taxes? Should she just do it for free? Like, that's absurd. No one would ever be like, yeah, she should do it for free. But something about art, because it's this passionate, joyful thing, that we should do it for free. And what happens, I think, that rubs me so much the wrong way is like, oh, I love it, so I shouldn't be paid. You realize the insinuation there is that we should only be paid for work that we don't enjoy doing? We're not living in that culture anymore. Like, what an abundant world we live in, that most of us are trying to pursue careers that make us happy, right? We don't just have to dig ditches because that's the only option. Athletics. Here's another example of how our culture supports some things more than others, right? How much does it cost to go see like a professional football game? It's insane. Are you telling me those athletes don't enjoy their work? Should they just do it for free then? And you know, they're not going to, and no one's going to expect them to. Did you know that the Super Bowl halftime artist doesn't get paid? They do that for marketing value. Now, I know these are big names and they're going to be okay because they worked their way up through the hustle. Like, Bad Bunny's going to be okay. And he should be because I love him so much. But he did that show for free, for marketing. And yes, he'll probably see the trickle down effect of his Spotify, listens going up and other things happening, new fans coming into the world. But look at that expectation. All the players are getting paid multi-millions, but the halftime artist is expected to do it for marketing value. So it really is baked in culturally. So if you're suffering from this idea of like, it's hard to get paid as an artist, it's not your fault that you're suffering from that idea. You're being brought up in a culture that supports that. So how do we get around that? And I think one of the best ways is to start valuing your own work. Again, I'm not saying be greedy and never give away anything for free, but I really had to, a few years ago, take a step back in my work and go, I'm tapped out on the free. Like, this is a lot. And so I had to reevaluate what I can give away for free and what I can't. We used to be asked to donate a lot of classes. Like, would you come teach a class? Would you do a workshop? I remember one distinct time someone had on our social media, we had posted, hey, come and join our thing. We're doing a flash mob for, amateurs, students of all kinds to join. It's going to be fun. We're going to perform at this parade. Very like community rich. Like, this is going to be a good time for us to come together and create. And then even better time for us to go in a larger community and share the work that we did, right? Like, that's what art is. It makes us feel connected and happy and appreciate the beauty. But then someone commented, they're like, it should be free. Like, they were appalled that I had an enrollment fee. And I was appalled that they were appalled and like offended, actually. Like, you think it should be free. You're admitting that it has value to show up and watch the thing, but then you're not equating that value to my time and expertise. I think it's painful. I've worked through a lot of this, but can you see there's still some pain and scars there from like, I'm sorry, does my art have no contribution? You all love it. You all want it to be there, but nobody wants to pay for it. So if you're experiencing any of that, like, heart hug to you, because you're not alone. I think a lot of us artists feel that way. And when I say artists, I mean all of us. I mean authors and playwrights and actors and dancers and musicians and. So I think what I've found, 2 steps that helped me kind of navigate this a little more in my own artistic career. One is choose thoughtfully what I give away for free. So now I will give away tickets to shows that I'm selling anyways. I'm already going to sell tickets to that night. I will be getting paid for that night. And so when a 501c3 reaches out and said, hey, we're raising money for XYZ, can you donate tickets? I go, yeah, I can. It doesn't cost me anything extra. I do get to spread the marketing reach to their silent auction or whatever event they're having. And I get to say yes to them. I get to feel the goodness of giving away some of my art, but it's not tapping into my time and it's not draining me of my own limited resources, time, energy, effort. I will give away classes occasionally, and I'll typically do that for like youth programs because there is a payback there. When you light up some kids and they're like, holy crap, I think I want to be an actor or a dancer, or this is amazing. When you light up that inspiration in them, like I have chills talking about it because we've had that happen for a lot of the kids in our programs over the years. Like that's worth it, but I can't do it every week, right? It has to be a limited moment where I can give away that kind of time. So I'm much more thoughtful about what I'll give away. And yes, I love to give it away. I used to even limit how many times I would give away to like a silent auction. And now I just say yes every time. Yes, I can always give tickets. I can always do that. I can't always give a class because I have a tight schedule. So that's one way, is to yes, give away things for free, but be really thoughtful about, does it give back to you, or do you feel like it's just draining you and taking away from you? The second piece is, and this might be harder depending where you're at in your artistic journey and if you're monetizing yet or not, you have to learn to value your own work. You have to put a price tag on it. This is for you, but it also affects the entire artistic ecosystem. Let me give you a small for instance. My husband and I and our wonderful team have an immersive theater here in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's a tourist town. It's a small town, but it has a lot of tourism. And I will admit, we have one of the highest priced tickets to go do a thing, like to go see a show. Ours is one of the highest priced. It's not because I'm being greedy. It's because I want to make sure my team is paid. I'm not asking them to do it for free. And I have to pay for the venue where we can do the thing in, and I have to pay to market the whole thing, right? Like we have expenses. And then I got to make sure my husband and I get paid at the end of the day. So I know it's worth it. Though I know our experience is worth it. So we have a higher price ticket than maybe some of the other things around town. Now, let's say there's someone down the street from me and they're also doing a theater show and they price their event not at half of my event, not a quarter of my event, like a sixth of my event, right? Like maybe I have a $60 ticket and they have like a $10 ticket. Okay, they probably have their own reasons for establishing their pricing too, but probably maybe they're worth more than that. All their time, effort, energy, creativity that went into it. And also not just them, but how does that affect the ecosystem? Next to that, my ticket looks really expensive, which means one of two things. My product is a lot better than theirs, or I'm being greedy, right? And that's not true. And so we want to think about, yes, some of us have different levels of skill sets, right? So there is a pricing modality that comes into that. Like, my ticket prices have increased over the years because our shows have gotten better. Our expenses have gone up. But we have to think about that. When we give away something for free, maybe there's generosity in it. Maybe there's doubt in your own value. And there's definitely a contribution to the overall ecosystem that says, don't value this. It should be free. And I have to disagree. About 9 out of 10 times. It shouldn't be free. You deserve to get paid for your work. And so what's the one individual thing we can do without striking up a cultural movement is to value your work. You're going to have to tell the masses what it's worth. You're going to have to tell them what you're worth, not what your worth is as a human, because we're all worth everything, right? We all have equal worth no matter what our skill sets are. But as an artist, you're going to have to insist that you have value. And that's going to mean sometimes saying no when people ask for something for free. It might mean raising your rates if you feel like you're ready to do that. But we're going to have to teach the world that, look, if you're going to pay $800 to get a ticket at the Super Bowl, you need to pay $60 to get a seat at the theater, right? Like, let's at least value our work by putting value, a price tag on our own artistic work. So the two questions I want to leave you with are, do you give your artistic works away for free? How do you feel about that? And does it need to be revised? That's one question with 3 parts. And the second question is, do the rates, the price tags that you put on your artwork Do they feel like a fair reflection of your artistic skill and the value and contribution that you are adding to the world through your artwork? Those are the two things I invite you to reflect upon on your own artwork, so that you are taking care of you, not becoming a starving artist, and also contributing positively to the art ecosystem. So that's a wrap. Now you, my darling, go do your creative work.